47-yard run.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lip Medallion. It is Friday before our infamous second trip to the Frisco Bowl, tropical smoothie, whatever it is. I don't know. It's got all these bowl games have weird names. Anyway, we're at a bowl game. It's our 14th game of the season. Hey, not too shabby. That's extra football. Who can be mad about extra college football? Who can be mad about that? It's another way to spend a Saturday or a Tuesday night in this instance. If you're a fan of college football, it's a great thing for you. So anyway, I apologize for not making another video earlier this week. I had planned on it, but the end of the year, the job, a lot of work to get prepared for 2022 to make sure we get our products out to our customers in a timely manner, make every one of you happy. This video does not pay the bills. Obviously I'm not monetized or anything like that. I'm not big enough. I don't have any sponsors. Not looking for sponsors. I do this for fun. So just like y'all, I watch UTSA football, UTSA basketball. When I get a chance, I watch UTSA baseball when they come to Houston. I've watched women's basketball when they've come to Houston. So against Rice or whoever they play here in Houston. So it's just fun times being an alumni and watching my team's sports. So let's talk about the bowl game. So obviously we know Sincere McCormick is not going to play. He's declaring for the draft. Does it surprise me he's not going to play? No, not really. Does it surprise me he's going to the draft? A little. Do I think he'll get drafted? Oh, of course. I mean, he's got the skill. We've watched him. Now, it just depends on what the teams need. And if the teams say they need a running back, if 6 teams say they need a running back, well, he's going to be one of them drafted. It just depends on where, right? It's going to go against him a little bit because of UTSA and G5, but all anyone has to do is look at our offense, look at the way he runs, and you can see that he's got the skill. Personally, if he were to ask me and he said, look, I need to make money, I'd have told him to go to the transfer portal. Straight up. NIL, he would have probably gotten $50K. Maybe he needs more money than that, but he gotten $50K NIL deal from somebody in the Southeastern Conference easily. Big 12, easily. Let's put the number 1 team in the nation. Let's look at their running back core. Brian Robinson, injured all season. Nate Jace something. He was injured most of the season. I think he just came back. While Sincere McCormick carried the load for us. Yeah, I know he carried the load against G5 opponents, but he was the one being tackled. He was the one being tackled and hit. He carried the ball 36 times in the championship game? Come on. You don't think if he put in the portal that Nick Saban wouldn't have reached out to him? Somebody at Alabama wouldn't have reached out to him? Kind of surprising to me that he's turning pro. I think he would have taken a different approach. Would have been smarter for him. Because then, when he goes to the NFL draft next year, he's got that P5 Alabama running back on his resume. Makes all the sense in the world. Some other players, I don't have anything in specific, but don't be surprised if Tariq Woolen doesn't play. I talked about him coming back from injury. When he had an injury to his wrist that required surgery. That is something not in depth, but his previous injury got re-aggravated. And it healed up pretty good, and he came back and he played. But he's not going to take the chance, right? Because he is a senior. He is out of eligibility. And so don't be surprised if he sits out and lets his wrist heal. I mean, so he's ready for the combine, pro day, the Senior Bowl, whatever it is that he's been East-West Shrine game, whatever, right? Don't be surprised if he sits out and then attends those. Can you blame him? He's already given every year of eligibility to us. The Frisco Bowl is a fun bowl. It's meant for fun. right? Let's face it. Unless you're in the playoffs playing for national title, the bowl games, for the most part, are just fun games, right? Now, I get it when you're in the P5, the Pick Six, the New Year's Six, whatever you want to call them, right? Those big games, and yeah, they mean something. But even Florida players sat out of the Sugar Bowl. I mean, but that's okay. Because here's what's great about that. And we got to look at it the proper way. And here's the proper way to look at it. Freshmen get to play. So what if you lose? They still get a free game to play. They can say they played in a bowl game. Right? Get them in there, coach. And coach will. Don't be surprised if we see a really weird line, a lot of different players playing. That's how I would treat it if I was Jeff Traylor. I'd be like, look, kids, you've given me everything you could give me this year. Let's go have fun. Let's win the game, but let's have fun. And if we lose, so what? Right? Shake hands. It was for fun. It's for fun for me to watch them, you know? Now, as far as San Diego State, I don't know if they've got anybody sitting out. But don't be surprised if you see some of the seniors or juniors that have other plans sit out for UTSA that you just haven't seen made notice. Like I said, I respect Sincere for making it public. I understand people being mad, but you can't be mad at him about that. Come on. I mean, he's taking his shot. I would have done it different. That's all I'm saying. But good luck to him. He's been a great running back for us. He's been the reason why we've won games, right? And got to where we got. So all we can do is thank him. That's all we can do. Now, what I want to talk about, what I want to add on here is this whole transfer portal, NIL, what if and whatnot going on, and coaching carousel. Okay, so coaching carousel happened. Players should get NIL. Because coaches move, players should move. Transfer portal. There's 2,000 players in the transfer portal right now. That's the number I heard. Okay, say it's 500 players in the transfer portal. You do realize that's 5 full teams of players? 6 if you go by just scholarships available, right? 85, close to 6 full teams of scholarship players just by having 500 there. Think about that. That's a lot. That's a lot of kids unhappy with where they're playing and probably making a good decision because they're in a bad situation. Change coach, change offense. You know, you're running back. Now we're going to spread it out. Ooh. I mean, I came here to play a game, right? Tell me you'd sit on the bench just because your team's winning rather than, say, I don't know, gym league basketball, recreational softball, C League, D League, whatever league. Tell me you're going to show up and sit there and get to swing the bat once and maybe go out in the field once or twice, right? A game. You know, go play 2 innings in the field, swing the bat once. Tell me you're going to do that. You're going to drive and go out of your way and do that. No. At the end of the day, you're going to play the game. So I understand why many of the kids are doing it. But here's the thing that none of you are really thinking about, and it's the NIL. The NIL is going to crush UTSA. What if I were to tell you the going rate right now in the Big 12 is 10 to 25K to sign? That's the going rate. You think UTSA boosters have that kind of money? And if you think they do, point them out. Point who has that out to be able to get 25 kids to commit every year. Point them out. Give me a name. Write a name down. Answer below and give me a name. Because I can guarantee you, I know a little bit more about the level of donorship to UTSA football, athletics, and you'd be surprised how just by donating a lifetime's worth of, say, $25,000. Say over the years you've done enough to make it to the touchdown club, right? Where you go down there and get the free food and everything. That requires donations of basically $2,500, right? With your tickets and the donations with your tickets. Now, do donations over and above that of, say, $25,000. You'd be surprised how high up the list you would get at that number. I'm not kidding. You get pretty darn high. Do you think those people can afford paying $10,000 NIL to somebody to help pay some kid NIL to sign with UTSA? And if you say, well, a bunch of them can do it, how many do you think we got? How many donors do you think UTSA has that can actually pool their money and make a difference? You might be able to get one Sincere McCormick, one Zachary Franklin in the future, one Frank Harris in the future. You wanted NIL, you wanted the kids to get paid. Good for them. But don't be surprised if it crushes UTSA, Southwest Texas State, North Texas. I mean, don't be surprised if schools like UAB that have been playing football for much longer, that actually do have a good financial structure underneath it of donors because they're supported by the University of Alabama, Birmingham Medical Complex. That UTSA doesn't have that, right? UT does. UTSA doesn't. UAB does, not University of Alabama. Don't be surprised if, say, UTSA loses kids. Instead of signing with us, sign with them just for the money. Expect it. There's one thing I want you to go do for me, and I'm going to end it up with here. There's this YouTuber, Late Kick Live with Josh Pate, 24/7 Sports. JJ Perez is associated with 24/7 Sports, I believe, Inside Runner Sports. But go watch his video on Saban Warned You. Go watch it. And if that doesn't open your eyes, nothing will. And I'm going to end it right here. Why did Texas all of a sudden do great in recruiting? Why did USC all of a sudden do great in recruiting? Do you think it's because Sarkisian's a great recruiter? Because Texas is on the verge of winning, coming back? What about USC? Think LA. Think money. Money like you could never understand. Imagine Rutgers. What can Rutgers do? Syracuse up in New York. Don't be surprised if that's what happens. I can guarantee you U of H is hoping that happens, being in Houston. If it is what happens, hey, you know what? We had a good run. And maybe we'll go back to FCS or something like that to where it's not as effective. But the Incarnate Word quarterback or a quarterback from Incarnate Word is in the transfer portal. Think about that. And they just played in the FCS playoffs. I don't know if they're a starting quarterback. I don't know too much. You guys can answer that in the question. But in summary, the NIL is going to hurt UTSA. Don't be surprised if there's several UTSA players that aren't playing, and enjoy the bowl game. And by the way, Roadrunners, I'll do more of these, but get prepared for the end of the year. Holidays are coming up. Enjoy the holidays with your family. And if you're lonely, call somebody. If this is a bad year to be lonely, bad time of the year, sorry, to be lonely. And if you're lonely, call somebody. Just pick up the phone and call them. They'll answer. Just say, hey, I'm lonely. Can you give me 10 minutes of time? If they won't, call somebody else. Just say, hey, call me. All right, brothers, sisters, Roadrunners, peace out.